There is a monster in the UFC bantamweight division, and he will fight anyone in any location. A protégé of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov and a cousin to the undefeated Khabib Nurmagomedov. The young eagle is scarier than Khabib. His kicks and punches are second to none, his footwork is excellent, and in addition to all that, he is a grappling god, just like Khabib. Umar has no weaknesses. The 27-year-old has had a tough time finding opponents in the UFC, most likely due to his mind-blowing skills. Umar insanely lands jabs with his legs. He has proved himself to be a Nurmagomedov, if not the best. Coming from a family of fighters, the Russian has quickly become one of the greatest prospects of 2023. Many fight fans predicted that he would be the next UFC champion. Who is Umar? What makes him different from other fighters? Join us as we dive into Umar's career and see why so many people are certain that he will become the future champion of the bantamweight division.
It's time!
Umar is a proud native of Dagestan and has been exposed to wrestling from a tender age. While growing up in Kizelyurt, he would frequently engage in freestyle wrestling practice. He had a family of fighters to look up to. After learning Muay Thai, the 27-year-old took fighting as his career. His success in this chosen field was sure, as he was coached by one of the best fighters ever, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. At 19, Umar won the World Championship in Combat Sambo. Greater wins just began for the young champ, and the events that followed confirmed this. The following year, he became the WMMA Amateur World Champion after 4 competitions. In 2016, Umar proceeded to a more professional MMA league, Fight Nights Global 57. This league is famous in Russia, and most upcoming fighters always join in to build their skills. His debut here was impressive, and his opponent Rishad Karisov could not handle his lightning-fast kicks. The fight ended in a second round via a guillotine choke when Umar acted out the instructions from Khabib. Umar earned an impressive record of 6-0 in the promotion before moving on to the Professional Fighters League PFL in America. His debut fight in PFL was against Saidyokub Kakramonov. As always, Umar displayed his signature kick and took home another win via a unanimous decision. Besides the PFL, Umar fought in other promotions and added 2 world championships to his record from the Guerrilla Fighting Championship and the Samara MMA Federation. Then, the UFC came calling in 2020. The Russian star could not debut because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and most of his fights were cancelled. He finally met with Sergey Morozov in 2021, and Umar was ready for the matchup. Even before Umar joined the UFC, he had been on the radar of many fight lovers. His UFC debut was among the most hyped, and everyone looked forward to it. In a bantamweight clash, he met with the former M1 global champion Sergey Morozov at the UFC Fight Island 8. Morozov proved to be a real match for Umar in the first round. While Umar landed strikes and grappled, Sergey displayed his toughness and strong abilities. The second round took a different route for Morozov, with Umar landing a perfect head kick. After that, Sergey was dazed and just managed to keep himself together. Umar got Sergey's back while standing and brought the fight to the mat. The Dagestani fighter put Morozov to sleep with a rear naked choke at the end of the second round. This victory helped improve Umar's MMA win to 13-0. If anyone had doubts, this victory cleared them. Umar earned his first UFC victory in a grand style and received the Performance of the Night bonus. His next bout in the UFC was even way better and faster. The Russian submitted the veteran Brian Kelleher in just 3 minutes of the first round. Kelleher could only land 1 successful strike compared to Umar's 21 shots. Nurmagomedov was actively pursuing a takedown, and when he finally got Kelleher to the floor, he did his best to keep the fight there. Umar worked the back, forcefully got his forearm under the chin, and Kelleher had no option but to tap. The UFC prospect pulled off another, making everyone expect more from him. When Umar met with Nate Menes, he dominated the whole fight and was awarded a unanimous decision win by the judges. Umar revealed more of his wrestling and ground game. Nurmagomedov had the upper hand in the grappling exchanges of every round. The judges scored the fight 30-25, 30-26 and 30-27, with Nurmagomedov winning unanimously. Nurmagomedov pushed for a takedown during the second round and got Manes to the ground. From here on, Umar used several ground and pound techniques to weaken Manes. Nurmagomedov suffocated Manes on the ground with his wrestling attack. In the third round, Nurmagomedov also got Manes on the floor. He used his punches and elbows to finish Manes. Umar controlled the first two rounds, with Manes constantly on the defensive. Punches and elbows followed this move. Round 3 was the same, as Umar landed his famous kicks. Umar's skills have taken aback several fans and fighters, and they have predicted that he is on his way to becoming the next champ. During one of the episodes of the Joe Rogan Show, Sean O'Malley also aligned himself with the views of the fight community by saying, quote, "Umar is a mother effer. He's 16-0. His cousin's with effing Khabib, and his brother is the other Nurmagomedov in Bellator. They're just effing animals. Dude, it's just a matter of time before he's sitting at the top of the division." In his last UFC fight, the Dagestani fighter knocked out Raoni Barcelos with an unexpected punch. His win streak increased to 16-0. Umar started to fight with his striking game and quickly followed it up with jabs and front kicks directly to Barcelos' head. Unknown to Barcelos, these moves were being used to mask the real deal. When it remained just 20 seconds to the end of round 1, Nurmagomedov finished his opponent with a confusing sequence that had to be replayed before anyone could make sense of it. The 27-year-old failed to land a knee to the head, but used a left hand that forced Barcelos to fall flat on the canvas. The other shots by Umar were not needed, and he later apologized. Umar had done it. This was the first KO of his UFC career and the second in his MMA career. What is next for the UFC star? Right from the beginning of his MMA career, it was clear that Umar had big dreams. The Dagestani fighter called out Merab Dvalishvili for his next fight. This matchup will be a good test of his skills and push him into the top contender status. The promotion has also supported Umar's dreams by matching him up with Dvalishvili. Merab is the #1 ranked contender and has an outstanding record of a 9-fight winning streak. He is next in line to face the bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling. The only problem is that Dvalishvili has refused to fight the champ because of their long-time friendship. The promotion took advantage of the situation to give the #11 ranked contender Umar Nurmagomedov the opportunity of a lifetime by fixing him up with Dvalishvili. However, we might not be seeing this matchup anytime soon, as Dvalishvili has openly stated that Nurmagomedov has to earn a fight with him. Dvalishvili also pointed out that he was recovering from a hand injury and was not in the best condition to fight anyone. Quote, "They did offer me Umar, but I was injured," Dvalishvili said. "My hand was still not 100%. I did fight with my injured hand against Peter Yan, but to fight Umar and to book the fight, especially on May 13, a week after Aljo's fight, it was no time. And I'm helping Aljo, and I'm not getting great training." Dvalishvili went on to say, "Umar, I respect him, but he's #11, and he only has 4 fights in UFC. I have 11 fights in UFC. I think he has to earn it more. He's a good fighter, but he has to fight more. This is not respect. I am #1. I have 9-fight win streak." Dvalishvili also maintained that Corey Sandhagen is a better pairing. The Georgian claimed he was ready to wait until Sandhagen was ready to fight. What do you think of Umar's fighting skills? Will the matchup between Umar and Dvalishvili ever happen? Do let us know what you think in the comment section. The Nurmagomedov family have been referred to as the family of king fighters, especially with the records of Umar. Just as Khabib entered the UFC as an undefeated fighter, Umar has done the same thing. Although there is constant pressure and comparison between Umar and Khabib, the young fighter has shown the world that he is indeed a Nurmagomedov. Besides Khabib and Umar, another Nurmagomedov that has distinguished himself in the world of mixed martial arts is Usman Nurmagomedov. Just in case you missed it, Usman is the younger brother of Umar. With all these living legends bearing the Nurmagomedov name, it becomes challenging to say who the best fighter is. Who is your favorite Nurmagomedov? Do share your thoughts in the comment section below.